when you reopen the PGA app and you see the guys who you had starred from the previous tournament. You're like, what in God's name was I thinking?
I always unstar. It is like an end of Sunday. I swear my brain will never let me know. Usually by the end of Sunday, I've unstarred because everything I sort of need, like in real time, I unstar. Like, is their rounds finish or there's only 4 guys on the course? I don't need to star anything anymore. But I know what you mean. Let's okay.
I would like to know from the people who the most pathetic name you've ever starred, and you open it up 3 weeks later. It's like, oh my God, what was happening? Like, what was my thought process on this?
At Mayo Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, powered by Underdog, the American Express 2026 bets, picks, preview, one and done, plus a recap of the Sony Open. The research show is already out. The research article is already out. Check your email and boom, it'll be in there completely free. You can always get that on Substack. You can hit it up on betspertsgolf.com as well in a little bit of time. Jeffrey, did you have Chris Gotterup winning the Sony Open? Because I did not.
No, thought about it, almost had it. Harry Hall, Dan Berger, Corey Connors, a lot of guys that like flirted with it. No, great bet to everyone. Even I saw Byron. I almost made the bet. I saw Byron on Friday night tweet like all the numbers, whatever. I'm just there for the milk. Got her up. He's striking it better than anyone. He's got the shot shapes. He's like 11, 12, 10 to 1, wherever. Go get it. So shout out to everyone who got it.
He also bet Gotterup 65 to 1, I believe, to win the Open Championship this year. I thought that was really interesting because Gotterup has now won 3 times in the last 2 years. This sort of being the middle event, because winning the Scottish is pretty big. Winning Myrtle Beach, no one really cares. But he wins Scottish in those weird conditions, and then he comes out the following week at Portrush in pretty windy conditions, comes in 3rd place behind Scottie, and I think Haotong ended up coming in second, or Bobby Mack came in second, whoever it was. But it's funny looking back at this tournament, very wind affected, and seeing the guys who end up at the very top. And it's Gotterup, that low ball flight, Bobby Mack, who plays really well in the wind. And a lot of it just came down to who could putt in the wind, because that was destroying people, especially on Friday. Just 4-foot putts being like blown off the hole, and guys didn't know what to do.
A lot of it. I didn't watch a ton, though.
Neither did I.
I didn't watch a ton. Even yesterday, Pat, I went in during what I believe would have been halftime, saw Gotterup hit a 20-footer, saw Harry Hall hit a tree. That was it for me.
It's funny to see Harry Hall that every time, and this happened, I want to talk about Davis Riley in a second, because that guy was pissing me off for 3.3 rounds, and then it all just went to shit for him. But Harry Hall was, doing his regular Harry Hall bit, can't really drive, irons okay, making every putt, chipping everything close. But the moment the screws got turned up and he had to make some putts, they just stopped dropping.
Yeah, I'd say sounds about right.
Okay. Did you follow any of this Davis Riley stuff as it was going on?
I mean, I followed the fact that he, I saw he finished Saturday strong during the football. I saw he got off to a good start Sunday. I saw that he hadn't had a top 20 since May. So like when Harry Hall was in second, that was tweaking me a bit, but I don't know. He shot the bed, and it's like the Jordan Spieth special. When you are in the final group, they give you like 100 minutes.
He couldn't miss for 3 days from anywhere. Like day 1, he gained 5 strokes putting, like abysmal with his irons. He drove the ball really well on the Friday, made everything. But not only did he make everything on the greens, I think he chipped in twice as well. And then it just kept going on Saturday. And then he started making like 25 footers to open Sunday. It's like, well, no one's going to catch Davis Riley. And then it all caught up to him all at the same time. He hit that drive that should have been out of bounds. I think that's one that you're talking about, that they gave him forever on. And then somehow he had like a clear path to the green, makes birdie there after draining like a mid-range putt. And then he 3 putts, and that is the end of Davis Riley.
Who was in the final group on Saturday?
It was Riley and Kevin Roy, wasn't it?
They were like 2 holes behind.
It
Whoever
happens
Nick
when you have a
Taylor
guy
was with.
like a Davis Riley who's won at Colonial before. It's not like he's some scrub. Kevin Roy is a good player, but I don't think he's ever been in a final group. Like the first time final group guys with like middling player who really needs a win guy, that can go bad.
They go. I'm almost certain, Pat, because I was following closely. You know, I had messaged to you. Looks like you know, Taylor hits this short birdie. Him and Connor's going to play together Sunday. Something only like, you know, us Dave Barhardos know what I'm talking about. And I think that Roy and Riley got to an empty par 5.
That rarely happens.
An empty par 5. When they got there, the hole was empty on the weekend on the PGA Tour. But yeah, I don't really have a ton to say. Like, Goddard was just pure class. You know, there's corny TGL jokes. Obviously, the guy had been like rip roaring. He'd been working hard. I was in the press room off the debut, and he acknowledged like how much he'd been golfing. Not so much as like a lead up to TGL, but it helped once he knew he was playing in that. He didn't want to embarrass himself. And I don't know. It's weird. It's funny that, like, you know, some of that stinger shots, you know, really worked perfectly for him. I'm not making that correlation. The guy was, you know, he's just, his class and his form are carrying over, and great to see. And he's got a little paunch, Pat. I'm pro paunch. Like, oh my God. Side profile got her up. It's one of us.
Speak for yourself.
Well, you're like in the 2%, so you speak for yourself.
I feel like I'm in the Paunch Club after this weekend.
Settle down.
I went out with Cust and friends to watch football on Saturday night, so we kind of got into it. You know, just eating like crap, drinking some beers. Then it was my oldest birthday yesterday, so just lots of cake, lots of crap. Now I'm feeling it on a Monday morning after I had to shovel 2 feet of snow.
I'll say this. You guys want to know, like, me as a brand? Last week, like, I was just not in the mood to do a show. Sunday night was not my friend. My wife had to go away yesterday morning to be at an emergency work meeting today. So I grinded 3 kids this morning, and I'm in better shape than I was because, like, my fucking loser football team lost. Like, I should be dead now, but I'm a goddamn hero. Yeah.
I want to stick with Goddard for a second. He's up to 17 in the world rankings. Is this the guy that he is? Like, winning the Sony's great and everything. We've seen a ton of guys win Sony over the years. Is he someone that you do think should be considered is he on a Cam Young type trajectory, despite the fact that he's won more than Cam Young? But the way that people treat Cam Young, like, you've bet him to win every major this year. Like, should people be lining up to think that Goddard has a chance in these tournaments? Because he actually seems to putt a lot more. He reminds me of JB Holmes in that way when you look at his putting splits, that when he putts well, he putts really well.
Well, like, just the fact of being overseas and like staring down Rory and then following that up, like showing that wasn't so much a fluke, and he followed that up with a great run of golf and has continued it. Like, that means serious business. You know how this stupid shit is, though. Cam Young, sort of like Scottie Scheffelr. It's like, there's no comparison here. But before he actually won, because he was so good, we anointed. You know, sort of like we've anointed Josh Allen right before he's won. And, you know, people yell all the time. I get it. Like, Herbert had been anointed without like winning a fucking thing. Chris Goddard is almost more like, you know, coming through the back door. No one fucking anointed him for these conversations for nothing. And, you know, look what he's doing. And absolutely, like, Chris Goddard, President's Cup, already feels like probable.
Well, he probably should have. We were discussing this during the Ryder Cup lead up last year, that he probably should have been on the team. Form plus course fit plus from that area, knowing how those courses work. He seemed like the perfect guy to bring.
Yeah. I mean, especially in hindsight, of course.
Yeah, but we were talking about this before the Ryder Cup,
not
I know. After they lost.
I agree. You know, him, Cam Young, you know, Keegan playing would have just been maybe a firecracker instead of, you know, sorry, Pat. But like, talking about that just reminded me, Morikawa on the edge, bro. Oh, that's what I saw Friday. The Morikawa 7-footer after 7-footer after 7-footer, miss a cut by a stroke. Oh, that like warmed me up, man. That warmed me up. Oh, whew. But yeah, got her up over, I don't know who were the bubble boys at the Ryder Cup. Everything's a blur now. Was it Morikawa? Probably not. No. People think it was Cantlay. It wasn't.
It was like Cantlay, Morikawa, and Cam Young were kind of the guys.
Okay. I don't know. There's only one guy in that group, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, you didn't have to take Cantlay.
I agree, but I will still die on the hill that the conversations of not taking Cantlay never even fucking existed.
I agree with you, but just objectively looking at it, Goddard was playing better and was having a better year.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, Morikawa was in worse form than all of them.
Worse form going in, but he was still having a better year than
Sure, yeah, I agree. But like May was a long time ago.
I mean, March was an even longer time ago.
Fair enough. But Cantlay showed up once a month, like once every 5 weeks. That was a thing. And like elevated. He'd like just pop, show a little bit of something. And that was enough for him. And, we don't need to relitigate all of it because the conversations never happened. And truth be told, the reality is the conversations probably never really happened for Goddard. I'm trying to think what else was noteworthy. VJ Singh?
VJ
notes. You're probably ahead of me.
No. We can talk VJ. VJ came 40th. He didn't quite. We got the line at Coolbet for the top 20 on VJ. Plus 230 for the year to notch a top 20. This may have been his best shot.
Yes, but I would argue, would you look at that and think that there might be like more like right now, would you be more inclined after what you saw? Would you be more encouraged or less encouraged?
I think these were it was the right course because it was short, because he's just not going to go toe to toe at, I mean, listen, Goddard won. He's like first off the tee.
He's going to keep Puerto Rico.
What's that?
But this shows you like there's going to be courses, subfields that he probably will like flirt with it hard.
Yeah, I think he needs this sort of conditions, though. Like, if it starts getting to minus 25 anywhere, I think he's screwed. But for 3 days, this plate is a pretty difficult tournament.
And it's always nice. Anytime I did turn it on, seeing like flags ripping, always. And the rough being on the wrong spots. I didn't watch much, but when I watched, it seemed like a nice test of golf.
I'm bummed that this might be it. This might be the last time that we see Wiley.
Yeah. So listen, I'm excited. This new commissioner, he's getting to work and the changes are coming, but this is almost like the feeling out year, right? Like he's going to sort of watch this, everything about it, and see what happens next. It'll be a shame. I don't really understand why, but it's all money. And apparently, Pat, which is kind of funny, in a bigger conversation about the new guy. How do I put this? He wasn't aware that they didn't own a lot of the courses.
He thought that the PGA Tour owned the courses that they played at?
Just in the financial setup. He wasn't aware how much money they have to pay to some of these properties, especially even the TPCs. But he owned some of them. So I don't say he thought once he got the job, he read into it. I'm sure he accepted. But going in, he was flabbergasted that they don't own. Sawgrass is the only property that they own.
I don't know why he would be flabbergasted about that.
I don't know. It's just
did you think that the PGA Tour is Trump and he just owns 80 billion golf courses?
No, but how much money they have to pay these properties to make these events happen.
Well, I don't know if they do that for Wiley. I think, what is it? It's not Turtle Bay. It's one of the resorts. I think the resort brings them in, don't they?
I'm talking about in totality on the full gamut of things.
Well, that's why they play historic venues that people like to see and don't end up going to just some jerk off place outside of where the real courses are.
That's probably well said. Well said. But yeah, I mean, this guy's going to learn on the job. And part of me is a paranoid of some of the stuff he's going to do. But other than that, I don't know. I think the tour, absolutely golf needs It's going to be like maybe contradictory. Golf needs a big shakeup, but I'm not talking about like live. I'm just talking about like how the PGA Tour operates.
Well, if we get the truncated schedule that goes from, let's say, Phoenix through the Tour Championship, and you have 14 of the signature events and like all the top guys playing all those, and you get the 4 majors, they end up playing 18 times a year. This part of the schedule, I don't even know if this part of the schedule goes away. I just think it goes away as a part of the PGA Tour. Like, why not make Sony and Amex the final 2 legs of, quote, the fall swing, where you can still like qualify for the signature events or something?
I don't know. It's all like the same to me. I don't even fall swing like that. The events are just like tiered.
Sure, but even if this is a lesser tier event, let's say this is a tier 2, tier 3 event, Sony Open and Amex, what we're talking about this week. I mean, I'm still watching. I'm still like, how markedly different is the field going to be at the Sony Open? Like, yeah, Goddard, Henley, and Griffin aren't there. Bobby Mack's not there. Although in the fall events, some of these guys play anyway.
Yep.
Like, if you want to play it, you can, but you don't have to.
Part of me is like just very excited for a more cutthroat PGA Tour. Well, on the flip side, I do like the randomness and the magic that is the PGA Tour. But I'm adamant they got to change something.
Okay. A lot of Canadians in the mix, always in Hawaii. Watch out for Canadians in Hawaii just kind of lingering around leaderboards. There's a new one, though. And I got a text from my golf coach about this guy. His name is, oh God, Sudarshan Yella Maraju. He is originally from India, from Scarborough. So he's just from outside. He's like 20 minutes away from where you live. He's on tour. He grinded up through the Corn Ferry last year and got his card. So my golf coach sent me this. He's like, I played on the same tour as this guy 3 years ago, like the mini Canadian tours. He played with him back-to-back weeks. And he's like, he's a great golfer, but he's like, I've never seen anyone grind on the range like this guy. He's basically like VJ out there. He's so dedicated. He's like, it's going to mean consistency. It's like, if you want to bet this guy like top 40s all year long, he's going to go out on Sundays and get some paychecks where he absolutely should not have any. So I'm all in on that. I like it.
I'm not going to try to pronounce that name again.
Well, we'll get it. He's Canadian. We can try to figure that. We'll see.
But yeah, no, we've got there's some nice amateurs coming on the Canadian front.
I mean, he's not an amateur. He's on the PGA Tour.
I'm just saying, like, we've got like a lot of good young guys. It is almost like how the NBA is in like a Canada Renaissance. Like golf is in a bit of its own mini Canada Renaissance. Just we don't have like the front end talent like we do.
Yeah, we don't have the Shea Gilgeous-Alexander of golf, is what you're saying?
Yeah, no, we're not like there, but like in totality, like we've got stronger numbies than it feels like we've ever had.
Is this what they call like this generation of the NBA Canadian guys, sort of the Vince Carter effect of it's now been like Vince put Canada basketball, even though he's not Canadian, on the map by just being awesome on the Raptors, encourage people to play basketball because basketball in the NBA had been so new to Canada. By the way, the first like 6 years, the Raptors were terrible. Then Vince shows up, everyone gets excited. Then people have kids, they play basketball. Now they're in the NBA. Is this the Mike Weir effect of golf?
Yeah, probably when you like correlate maybe a bit of like the timeline to when he won to now, like the seeds got planted then, from and now, those dads have 22-year-old sons.
If people are wondering why I am at my home studio today and not the studios, because we had a lot of snow overnight. Went to bed, no snow. Woke up with like a foot and a half of snow, and there's no power at the office. So shout out to Dayton for hopping in to do this remotely, and me being at. It's good, Jeff. I'm just like you. It's a good thing to have a home studio.
Yeah. Well, listen, yours probably gets more work than mine does. You pump a lot out of there. And it works. I don't know. Could do some real time reacts. Like if this was, Thursday, you might have popped in there to do something about, certain coach firings, but since it's a Monday, we're getting the crew together later to do that sort of fun stuff.
Yeah, hopefully the power's back at the studio, so Tim and I can go in when we're doing the show either way. Just Tim might have to do it from home, I guess, if there's no power. But we will talk about the Sean McDermott firing then, everything that happened on the weekend. And of course, what's going to happen here in the conference championship rounds. I actually didn't watch the end of the Bears-Rams game until this morning. I went to bed. I watched the end of Sony. I was like, yeah, I'm pretty tired. I got to wake up in the morning, start doing some stuff. Oh, I really wish I had stayed up and watched that in real time.
Yeah, that was rarefied air shit. That was like one of the fun, it was like, when you're like perpetually online, life's like, maybe a little sad, but that's like one of those fun moments to be online when like something like that happens. That was sick. That was awesome. And it'll be a shame if the power's out, Pat, because my stance, this is essentially the season finale. Football season is over on Sunday. Not in a million years am I watching, it's like Sunday, and you're like, come over, I'm having a party, all of our friends' wives are here, everyone's kids are here, like, come over, it's week 12, like, let's hang. I'll be like, hell fucking no. No. But for the Super Bowl, I love parties, I love my friends, I love their wives, I love their kids, we're going to hang out. But that's not football season. That's not football season. It's not. If you got a future, if your team's playing, cool. But this is the season finale. Football season ends Sunday. Make the best of it. Make the best of it. As you could tell, like I'd almost do anything to not talk about the MX because three course change up, elite players, and I've dominated this thing. I think I hit it last year. I think we hit Jason Duffner here, which allowed us to like pound Will at Master Bets.
Yeah.
I hit my biggest winner, not like in terms of money back, but pre-tournament outright. Landry was
No. That's not true. You didn't have Landry here. You had Landry at Valero.
Oh, sorry. Did then Landry lost here? What did Landry do? Landry did something here. Am I making
Landry lost to Rom in a playoff here? That
was the day the Jacksonville Jaguars walked into Pittsburgh and flirted with a 50 burger.
Yep. 45-42.
No, the game wasn't that close, was it?
Yeah.
I didn't. Why do I have this memory of the Jags like blowing the shit out of them?
I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
I thought the Jags dummied them.
I forgot to ask people last week. Yeah, it was 45-42.
Oh, wow. A sweat job.
Yeah. I forgot to ask people last week. We need someone, if the guy who did it last year, I think it's Ben, who wants to run the 3-man one and done to keep track of the scores, because I totally forgot to ask anyone. We have people doing the season-long league. I'm sure they'll email me the calculations on that for the draft that we did at the beginning of the year. But I think Cust ended up as the winner. Can't remember, because Nick Taylor fell off on Sunday. Anything else you noticed from the Sony? Do you know who led the Sony in ball striking and strokes gained approach?
Corey Connors.
That is correct. Actually, it's not true. Siwoo led in ball striking.
Yeah, Connors. I don't know. That's the Corey Connors gem. Oh, you know how it's golf season? Because people are on the internet complaining about bad putters that they bet on missing putts.
I know all about that.
It's cool. Like, I get it, but you can't bet on these guys and then be surprised. Be surprised when they make. Expect to miss.
I like that. That's what I do. As someone who has bet on Siwoo and Luke List and a string of dudes who can't putt over the years, yes, I get it's frustrating when they don't make putts, but if you just go ahead and be like, they're awful with a putter, I expect them to miss. When they make one, it's like, yeah, here we go. We're stealing on the field now.
If Corey Connors could putt, I mean, I guess he's already priced kind of low on the PGA Tour, but like where he might be priced if he was like a top 20 putter in the world. He's flirting with Scottie Scheffelr.
Hoey's the same way. At least with Connors, we've seen him gain sometimes. No one has ever seen. There's not a recorded instance of Rico Hoey ever making a putt. Yet people are surprised when he misses every single one.
And he changed, right, to the Broomer in the fall?
Yeah, Svensson did too. Adam Svensson, and who actually played pretty well this week.
Yeah, I guess like just because, I only see it through my bubble. We're still early in the year. I was really happy. Obviously would have liked to have won money. I'm sure they were placing bets. Like Daniel Berger playing great or like having a strong week makes me feel good about losing a lot of money on Daniel Berger over the next like month. I'll do that probably again. Other
He
than
chipped.
that,
Well, he didn't chip. He lost a little bit chipping, but he gained a bunch putting. And this is what I talked about last week: is if he can just solve his like yips around the green and actually start making some putts again, everything else was still there. And he kind of treaded water through 3 rounds. And there was a point on Sunday where it was early, so I opened up the app during the first football game. And I was like, geez, Berger's going on a run here. I think he immediately bogeyed hole 14 or whatever. It's like, well, if he can just pull a Nick Taylor and go like birdie, birdie, eagle to end this, maybe he's got a shot. Turns out he had no shot.
I want to.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. Do you have anything like about the Sony?
Not well. I mean, yes. Nick Dunlap gained almost 7 strokes on approach and lost almost 7 strokes off the tee.
Good for him. He's like made a cut. He's just the road back. Whatever.
Siwoo and Connors, and to a lesser extent Hideki, were the 3 guys in this tournament who just putted themselves out of the tournament.
Yeah. I'm trying to, like, of the high end guys, Bobby Mack and Hideki performed the best.
They did. Hideki did most of it on the back end. I mean, Griffin came T19.
Siwoo also, I guess, would have been like 20-1 or something.
Siwoo was, yeah. I mean, Henley came 19th. I was actually surprised. Let's go to the Amex because I was on Griffin for the research show. I thought he rated out really well. It's not that I'm not on Griffin, but he opened at like 18-1. Henley's like 25-1 to win this tournament after being 12-1 last week. I don't understand how that makes any sense.
Yeah. Would you say the same about like Bobby going from 20 to 28?
Not really, because I do feel like the conditions helped him out a lot, but Henley was the overwhelming favorite versus Ben Griffin and everyone else last week. Now we're here a week later and Griffin's ahead of him on the board.
Okay, yeah, I totally agree with that. Is probably an off, a little off. Before, yeah, I think you're on to something there. I don't know that I'm looking. I don't know that I'd bet any of the guys at the top, but just quickly, Pat, because we didn't get a chance to talk about it. We'd rumored it. We knew it was going to happen when we'd spoken last week about Brooks. This is what I love about, like, this new guy said, I don't like care what our charter says. We are going to make something that is hyper specific. And I don't like people like obviously there's no way other guys are going to jump at this moment. And they made this like comment. It's almost like a portal timing. All that is an evergreen. It's an evergreen smoke signal to about 4 of them that when you want to come back, we will part the sea like Moses. You're coming back when you want to. We'll figure it out for you. You're not playing by Hudson Swafford's rules.
Which makes the most sense. And this is something that we've talked about anyway, that we always thought this would kind of be the case, didn't we? That if you were a big enough name and you mattered to the PGA Tour, they would have you back.
I'll be honest. The way this thing went through, almost like lightning speed. I would not have thought he was playing on the PGA Tour in January, or I guess it'll be February, whatever it is. That even I was like, wow. But when you consider like how slowly things move in those headquarters, and they like just the fact that they had that statement ready to go within like 30 seconds of him announcing he was leaving LIV, almost was like the ultimate foreshadow that this thing is going to happen at a lightning speed. I thought he dumb enough, like hand up, I'm trying to like play psychologist, with my minor in psych from a party school. I just thought he was going to take like a little time off. Obviously still play the majors and stuff, but hell no. Like,
I would guess that part of the deal was you don't get the time off. We need you at these tournaments.
Do they need him at those tournaments? I get like, yes, a lot of them, but where he's going to I guess, yeah, the Farmers is like shit now.
Yeah. Farmers.
Yeah,
I mean,
Torrey Pines ain't what it used to be. You're right. Okay. Let's go. Good for them. Good for them. And all like the LIV people, they like, of course, PGA people are hardos fans are talking out of both sides of their mouth as it pertains to Brooks. That's fine. That's just like what's going to happen. Like, he's sort of an afterthought on Live, and now he's this huge thing to us on the PGA Tour? Yes and no. And what I would say to that is like it's 97% symbolism. Like the symbolism of this thing is huge to me, right? Daddy's gone, Daddy's coming back. But Brooks Koepka on Live, he is a name and he is a draw. And anyone who's going to a Live event or watching Live wants to see shots of Brooks Koepka. But it's not the same. Like, I don't know what I'm trying to say other than Brooks might not be a superstar anymore, but he is the perfect sort of guy for the PGA roster just to be part of the fucking circus. And that is what we celebrate.
He's right? Sort of in that Tiger, Sarah. I mean, he can go still out and win tournaments. So he won a major 2 years ago. But if Tiger shows up to, I don't know, Heritage for some reason within the next 2 years, it's like, holy shit, Tiger's playing. This is great. Brooks has that same, he's like one of the few people who actually has that sort of aura where it's like, oh, Brooks is playing. Cool. I'll go watch Brooks.
This was
when you rely on him to be an attraction to your tournament, that's really good with some competitive upside of maybe showing up 4 times a year and being competitive to win a tournament. But overall, he's a draw. He's a person that people know. You put him on TV. It's like, all right, yeah, there's Brooks Koepka. Liv needed him to be awesome, and he wasn't.
You're so much better than me because that is exactly what I was trying to say. Like just part of the attraction, flirting with a cut line, as long as like other great players are there, like who cares? It's just great to see him in the flesh. I would argue, Pat, and I think the Tiger thing, that's a bit of a stretch, but I don't think you're comparing 1-to-1. You're just
but that's like, if Tiger was to play, that's what he would be at this point. He would be an attraction along with the people who could actually win the tournament.
So yes, and I might say it, you say attraction, I say it in a more derogatory term, but I don't even mean it as derogatory as it is. He's almost like a mascot.
No, think about it from
like a competitive mascot. Like just being there is amazing. Getting Brooks sound bites, amazing. Like just, but there's also if he isn't winning, I don't think that's a issue either.
Agreed. But think about it from a wrestling type of thing. Like in the 80s, if you like when WWF would come to my town in like 1992 when I was 7 years old, and they would have like those sheets of like who was on the card. I mean, Andre was like dead at that point, but if you would put Andre on the card, be like, holy shit, Andre's going to be on this show. I might go see that. He might just fucking stand there. He might not do anything, but he's there and he gets people to come watch. Brooks is kind of the same way, but Brooks might also have competitive. Brooks was like non-competitive on the PGA Tour for non-big events anyway before he left.
I totally agree. And to your point, like Brooks on TNA needs to main event.
Yes, and Brooks he needs to be awesome.
The WWE could be someone's valet and mix it up once in a while, and it's perfect.
That's sort of that's the luxury of the PGA Tour being the bigger brand.
Yes.
It'd be like if DJ came back. Be like, cool, DJ's back.
And I know this is like hard for like, and maybe these people don't even exist, but like that is the PGA Tour was very much lacking these sorts of people. Like Phil isn't here anymore. Like a lot of those guys, Liv took a lot of those guys, you know, like a role Sergio could have been playing in these years. So I totally agree that there's a huge gap on the PGA Tour for these like attraction guys.
Fan favorites. Like it's no different than what Ricky is. Or it's no different than what Spieth is right now.
Yeah. Yeah. That's okay. We could do this. I one more thing. You want to do Shane? Should I do Shane Lowry or my thought on internet golf?
Let's do both because I got the greatest idea for internet golf from a friend, which I do not want to share because I really want to do it myself and not have anyone else do it. We'll get all of us doing it and it will do great numbers, Jeff. It is a fucking great idea.
So overall, I cannot stand like internet golf. And like Pizzola loves it. Like he loves it. He'd be watching it instead of like the PGA. That's fine. And this might lead into like your idea, Pat, and I don't have an idea here. But the guys on internet golf, they're too good. They're just too good. Now, when Portnoy and Barstool did that internet invitational, the stakes were so high. And then it was like an amount of money, even for like a lot of successful content people, that was like, holy shit. Like that it like can change a lot of things. That level of money. So that made seeing good interesting. But just for no pun intended, just seeing like good player versus good player, boring as shit. I need internet like they're too good. There's enough golf on TV of like professionals. If I want to watch guys that are like, other than that could at that level, it just doesn't do it for me. Like full throttle, it doesn't do it for me.
So you want to see Cust shanking shots off the tee and then complaining that he's not shooting under par?
One like that. Nothing is fun. My favorite day of the summer is like when our two buddies who are like 25 play with us, handicaps, like 30 handicaps, and they're betting on a hole. And, it is the greatest. And of course, like if you know the people, it's exponentially like better, because watching horrible golf from people you don't know, I get might also like not do it for you. But all I know is the people in this like internet golf sphere, they're just too good. It's not entertaining. Now, I like some of the hit and giggle stuff where we'll see some personality out of like PGA Tour pros that we'd never get, like when they make guest stuff. But overall, like the mono a mono stuff on there, I'm sorry, they're just too good for me to like care. I'll just watch Corn Fairy.
It's funny too, because the Corn Fairy guys are so much better than these guys. It's funny how big of a difference there is between actual, even mini tour guy, Corn Fairy, Challenge Tour. I'm not even talking like DP World Tour, like Challenge Tour type of player, Asian Tour type of player, and these guys who are really good on the internet playing golf. Like there's not even a comparison. Like the
my buddies argue with me that this Dalkey could like compete on the PGA Tour.
Who said this?
People think this.
Well, they're wrong. Like they're idiots.
And the only like, listen, I've seen I make fun of Morikawa, but I've seen like Morikawa say this about this Dalkey fella, and he's amazing. The way he strikes it, maybe he could. But all I would say is you've only ever watched the guy play resort course.
And
you're not watch this guy play PGA Tour day of, be 4 feet in the wrong place, and then you'll like see him make bogeys. You don't see him make bogeys on internet golf. And I'm not knocking, I don't know enough to like not, I'm sure if he was good enough, maybe there's enough money in it where you don't even have to try to be a pro anymore.
True.
It's like the grind to be a pro is so painful and not financially fruitful that like I get content probably just is better. But I'm not buying they could T20 nothing.
I could buy that if they trained like professionals, that maybe they could get to that level. But to put these guys in a PGA Tour event, they would be dead last by a lot of shots.
Yeah, I don't know. Let me see this guy get like up and down from a Memorial hosel.
Yeah, if you put them like when Romo used to play in the Barracuda, put him in like the one that Horvath was going to play in last year. It's not that he would be competitive in that tournament, but he also wouldn't be a wasteland in that type of tournament either. Like that's a good tournament at an easier go make some birdies type of course. Yeah, you put them at Jack's course, they're the top end guys are fucked at that course.
And don't get me wrong, like I'm on the YouTube watching, 25-year-old Eric the Midge, stuff from Howard Stern. So if you're watching guys hit golf shots, like that's fine. Like I'm not knocking that. I'm just saying I can't get into watching two really good, like flirting with scratch golfers, like going at it with each other.
So what do you think is optimal then? If it was you and you wanted to watch internet golf, how good or bad do these guys have to be? Like, what's a good handicap for this? Like 10?
Yeah, because even like, I'm like 15, 17, like.
But I think you want to see good shots every now and then. Like if someone was a 6 handicap, you're going to see some good shots throughout the round. You're going to see some bad shots throughout the round. It's going to be wildly inconsistent, but the upside is there for like cool moments. Like I play with 20 handicaps all the time. They might hit a good shot around.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Like
but
Cust is a 20 handicap, and like he might have a good shot around.
I would say this, Pat. I'd say we've played golf like maybe 5 or 6 times. I'm asking you, like, be honest. Like, I'd argue every time we've played, it's pretty much like the exact same from me. Like, There's some great. There's like the day is just too long for me to not find a lull. There'll be like a run of holes where like, oh, he's free, like striping it. It's like the whole mixed bag, and I don't want to say it's the same thing every time, but like I almost would argue it's like been the exact same experience for you seeing me golf every time.
True, and I would say that every time that you've golfed with me, it's probably something completely different.
Yeah, I mean, and usually just wait till sometimes it might take you 3 holes for the driver to warm up. Sometimes it might take you 12, but like when it warms up, the day changes.
Yes, and then I start playing a lot better, but I could be anywhere on the course.
Yeah, but I don't know, like the ability, obviously, extra great potential for it to be like a horrible shot, even like a chunk. But there is the chance that there is like a moment of greatness always, even with people like Cust and myself.
True, but you're a lot better than Cust.
Okay, fine. I was just including Cust. But like, yes, there is like there's always like 10 feet to the pin in me. Just, there's also like 10 feet in front of me, which make that maybe is what's fun for people. The problem is, I think if they're really shitty, there has to be a level of like personal attachment. Your audience, the people you'll probably create something around, like feel a level of attachment to, so that's there. But I don't know that I could come in raw seeing like other people's friends golf. Maybe that's also like not guaranteed to be a hit with me either.
True. I think like the proper move here is if you do like for our purposes, 2v2, have like 2 pretty good guys on each team and like 2 like lower quality guys on each team. So you see the bad shots, but you're not stuck with the bad shots all the time.
Yeah.
Talk to me about Shane Lowry.
He is one of like the greatest treasures in golf. And I don't want there to be this misconception because like, I don't know, Pat, we've done like enough. Before I start, like I'm entertained by Shane Lowry. I don't like hate him, say like I do, or have a mean-spirited intention with him like I do Colin Morikawa. I think it's obvious in how I tweet, but I do think that there is Shane Lowry. He's just, I think, the greatest treasure maybe in the game of golf. I don't think he's won in a decade. He blows leads all the time. Yesterday was incredible. At the same time, this is a guy who, goes into the Ryder Cup cauldron, hits the biggest putts. That Ryder Cup, like, fuck you. Maybe my favorite moment like in golf of last year, just because it was so maybe like for Lowry expected, but so out of the element. I joke about Shane Lowry bingo. Like just he is the greatest wild card in the sport. But at the same time, it is obvious to me that he just gets like a free pass because maybe he always builds up enough equity that he can do something shitty. I don't know. And I'm not saying like, listen, you blow lead, golf's hard. I'd chunk a bunker too. Yeah, I just think he's a treasure. I think he's a treasure. And people mistake like that I have like a hate on for him. No. I have such an appreciation for Shane Lowry. All parts of it.
It's not the first time in contention he has hit a bunker shot that is skipped once off the green and then went into the water on the other side. He did the same thing at Heritage. Well, we had money on him, I believe, like 6 years ago. Same shot.
Yeah. When is the last time he won?
He won with Rory at the Zurich.
When was the last time he won?
Portrush?
Yeah, and listen, I'm not like you win a major, you get a free pass. He also won a clutch WGC.
That was in like 2014.
And it's just so and people would say Fleetwood gets a fair pass for the a free pass for the opposite reasons. Like because Fleetwood is a good guy and liked by so many and he's got like a 100% good guy demeanor. What he blew something. He's like, I try my hottest, or maybe that was his kid. I don't know. So people could argue it the other way, like because Fleetwood's personality, like he doesn't take maybe as much heat as he deserves. I don't have a clue. I just I'm just into it.
Yeah, his last real win was Wentworth in 2022. And he ran down Rory and Rahm in a 3-round event.
Yeah, and sometimes he hangs with like the best players.
For a guy who never wins, he's still like 22nd in the world rankings. And he's another one. When he misses a putt, you're like, yeah, of course he did. He's Shane Lowry.
He's a treat. I'm a fan. Like when I talk or make fun, it comes from like a more of a place of like love and appreciation of my entertainment than when like my mean-spirited comments for a guy like Morikawa.
Oh, Andrew Landry did win the Amex as well. He won in 2020. He won the Valero in 2018.
He lost in a playoff and then came back and won. Okay, but you're saying when he won, you're right.
Because the year that he won Valero was the year that I had Trey Mullinix at 200 to 1. You had Landry at 200 to 1. I had Mullinix, and Mullinix like flubbed his chip into a bunker on 17, and that was the end of him. You remember the losses very vividly. You don't really remember the wins. Underdogs expanding the game. You already know their player picks. Pick higher or lower on player stats. Today, Underdog prediction markets are live in 25 states. Back your squad with spreads, handicap for closer game, or totals, higher, lower combined score, combined with player picks for bigger payouts. New customers play $5 on fantasy, get $75 in fantasy bonus entries. Code Mayo. Team picks, player picks, all on Underdog. Eat better. Train smarter. Maybe stop pretending frozen mystery meat is good enough. And honestly, starting strong is the easiest way when the food doesn't suck to get yourself ready to start the new year. That's where Omaha Steaks comes in. Premium, perfectly portioned protein shipped straight to my door. No guessing, no waste, just legit quality that actually fuels what you're trying to do. I loaded up on their USDA certified tender steaks and gourmet burgers, threw a couple fillets on the grill, which is out my back door, and there's not that much snow, so I can access it pretty easily. Salt, pepper, done, instantly tender. Way more flavor, better texture, zero stress compared to anything I've really cooked before. Let Omaha Steaks deliver high-quality proteins right to your door. Visit omahasteaks.com and get an extra $35 off with promo code MAYO at checkout. That's OMAHA steaks.com, promo code MAYO. Terms apply. See site for details. Now we switch over to Amex. You should remember a win because you had Seb Straka here last year.
I did. That was great.
Straka won last year. Dunlap outran all of our guys as an amateur in 2024 and won at minus 29. Rahm, Swafford, Siwoo, Landry, Adam Long. This has been the tournament of Longshots. Longshots win this tournament, or I guess the betting favorite wins it.
Yeah, I got no interest at the top. I mean, I'm obviously tempted by some people, but I'll just do what I've always done here, which is, I'm not saying I go like super deep, but 50 to 1 and above in just a pocket of players I think I can trust.
Well, it's a shootout, right? It's 3 courses. There's a cut after 3 rounds. It's a pro-am with not the highest end celebrities. It's more of like the chill celebrities. Then everyone gets back to the stadium course after the top 65 and cut for Sunday. Like Scheffelr's here, but he's not pushing down the odds as much as I thought that he was going to do. So when you look at the top of the board here, top odds, Scheffler's plus 260 to win. Then it's Ben Griffin at 18 to 1. Ludwig, Sam Burns, both at 20. Henley and Cantley at 22. Bobby Mack and Matt Fitz, Harry Hall are all 30 to 1. Why does Harry Hall have lower odds than Seb Straka does to win this event?
So when you were making your comment earlier, Pat, about just like holistically seeing last week's odds, this week's odds, guys who moved, didn't move, you made the Henley to Griffin sort of comp. I wanted to see like what they did with Harry Hall's odds. And even though he's Harry Hall and he played well or fine, his odds like shouldn't be shorter than last week when you include these like 9, 8, 4, 5 guys into the field.
He is the same as like Bobby Mack is the number 7 ranked player in the world. What is Fitz up to now? Like Fitz just won the DP World Tour. He's the same as Harry Hall. How much of this is, I think it's 16 of the past 18 winners have played a Hawaii tournament before playing this event and winning. Do you think that there's anything like that in the odds?
I don't know. I mean, we're one less Hawaii event. Long shots, the lower half of the tour usually comes here, wins here. I don't know what to make of that. having needing to have played in Hawaii.
Like Griffin and Henley really do stand out to me at this tournament. Like this is their type of tournament to win. They both make a ton of putts and they're both coming off like not great weeks for them, but it's in the wind, first time playing all year. They're going to have that gear. Strangely, I feel like Scottie has a better chance of winning any of the majors than he does this tournament.
I love that argument. It's hard. It's almost hard to disagree with it.
This tournament is, and listen, he should be the betting favorite. Like he won. I said the same thing about the CJ Cup last year, and he won the CJ Cup. But dude plays the CJ Cup every year, and he has one win against the world's worst field. He's played this event 5 times. He has one top 10 in his life, and it's before he was like Scottie Scheffelr.
I know it might not be like backed with data. I absolutely agree with you. Even in the taking the losses, I don't mean actual losses. Even when the take backfires, when he wins the CJ Cup, I believe his chances to win the Masters are better or as good as this.
Which sounds outrageous, but just think about it empirically for a second. This is a fucking putting contest, as John Rahm once told us, and then John Rahm has won this tournament twice. But once you make it a putting contest at the 3 easiest courses, like Scottie's advantage is when the course is at its hardest because he's by far the best player. When you play the easiest course, amateurs at 600 to 1 end up winning. Like anyone who can roll a hot putter can hit a wedge, which is most people on the PGA Tour. You have these wonky 7-hour rounds because you're playing with the CFO of Valspar as your partner, and they're just taking forever. So if you end up tracking with a really bad partner, your round gets extended by another 45 minutes. It's not for everybody. It's probably why Cantlay does so well at this tournament. Like he's like 7-hour rounds. This sounds great.
Okay, let's do this. And you're right, Pat. Like this isn't the celebrity pro-am. This is like the tournament directors, sponsors. Like sure, you're JP McManus and like you're really like high end like executives will get into like Pebble and that sort of shit. This is for like the people who keep the grease on the wheels of the PGA Tour. And that's another thing with this new commissioner, Pat. I spoke about like the courses. This one's actually bigger because that, you just learn and you're like, okay, that's interesting. The soft power that exists in golf all over the place. This guy he's gonna glad hand none of it. What do I mean by soft power? There are like 40 tournament directors that think they're like kings and like everything's about just like getting up ahead. There's so much soft power around the game of golf. This guy's he's not gonna fuck with any of these guys. And I mean, like, he's not gonna take any of their bullshit. He's gonna run this thing good. That's my thought. Patrick Cantlay. I was at TGL. He wasn't playing. Okay. So I was just like watching him loiter for a bit because he's, the leader of whatever. Arthur Blank, Steve Cohen, Patrick Cantlay having a little conversation off to the side. And you know me, like I'm like, but I observed something and I sent you and Tim a message and I'm like, he's a psychopath, Pat. He's a psycho. He's wearing loafers. There's not a single person in the property, in the stands, on the actual playing surface, celebrities, owners, Arthur Blank, Pat, like the richest men on earth are in running shoes. Patrick Cantlay's in a pair of loafers. So if you think he's set for a 7-hour round with an executive, you bet your damn ass he is. My whole TGL experience and the technology overload is still maybe overshadowed by seeing him wandering the surface in loafers, like dress shoes, I mean.
So you're 50-50 on Cantlay this week of whether or not you're going to bet him.
I don't like playing the top here, so I'm not betting him, but I think if I was playing the top, I would be leaning to Patrick Cantlay.
Yeah, Griffin and Henley are the two for me. I always bet Sam Burns here. Cust has taken Burns as his one and done this week. I just don't like opening at 20 to 1. No, I can't do that.
And I like a nice Burns number the year that he lost to the amateur Dunlap.
He was 28.
Yeah, that one bothered me. And that might have been like the week after Ben Ann lost to a dead guy.
It was exactly that same time frame.
Yeah, later Ben, his attempt to be like, listen, he went try hard internet, he got some engagement, he turned that into being like the seventh option for Live Korea. Whatever.
Oh, it worked out.
Listen, golf's hard, life's hard, winning tournaments is hard, T20ing is hard. So that's a deal. You make a good deal for you and your family. That's fine.
I do want to swing back to what I said about Scheffelr having a harder time winning this tournament than winning any of the majors. 156 guys in this field as well. And you just need one of them to have the best putting week of his career, and you just simply are not winning.
Sam Burns used to bully the shit out of like this sort of stuff.
Yeah, but he's never won here. He too, like he used to bully, like he won Colonial when it played tough in the win. He won Valspar, which plays as a tough course, and he kind of like dummied it. A shootout putting contest, although it feels like it should be geared for him, like his approach play just isn't good enough. He doesn't give himself enough birdie opportunities at courses like this where you basically need them every single hole.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment.
So, like I said, for me, it's Henley and Griffin. I haven't bet them, but that's where I would go. Like, this seems like the biggest anti-Ludwig course of all time.
Yeah. I mean, I'm seeing Ludwig at 25-1. Like I've
That's
seen it
gonna
already
drop.
go.
No one's betting Ludwig.
No, but I've already seen it go up this morning. Like I saw 20 when I woke up. I already saw that site flash it up to 25. They hadn't taken a cent. And I would imagine that could get higher. I don't even know if he's been playing a lot of golf. I mean, I'm sure he'll have like a spike round, maybe a spike or 2 rounds, but I'm not betting him to win. Of Henley or Griffin, I would just take the bigger numbers. So I would lean Henley.
Well, I had come into the week after I did the research show. I walked through everything. I was like, man, Ben Griffin sets up really well. And when I guessed the odds, I worked under the assumption, well, Henley was the overwhelming favorite this week. So Ben Griffin is clearly going to be behind him on the odds board, but no. So,
and I thought you made a good point. Like, if you didn't bet Griffin or Henley last week, you actually really like how they played as it pertains to wanting to bet them this week.
Yeah, they got their reps in. Like, I wanted to see that. Like, that was good. And I think most of the guys, if I do go down this list, when I start taking some shots on the guys that we're talking about, that they're all guys who played last week.
Yeah. Okay.
This next range, 30 to 100.
Big.
Straka, Harris English, Siwoo, Noren, Pendrith. Pendrith had a really nice Sunday, made a run. Fowler, Højgaard, Kitayama, Min, Lee at 50 to 1. You got Thorbjornsen making his debut. Berger's back on at 66. Pearson Cootie, my main man, 60 to 1. He made a run. Too bad that's outrageous odds for him. His odds are the same as Jason Day's and Akshay's, despite the fact that so there is a big price for if you played last week. It seems like they're shaving off 15 points on your outright. I just take a look at this. I mean, I went through the guys who played the best but couldn't make putts. I mean, he's going to have to make putts to win. And if he doesn't, then that's the cost of doing business. But he's won here before. Siwoo at 40 seems like a great number.
Okay. I agree, but I got distracted because I'll tell you, a guy who played well last week, who I'm seeing a bigger number on, because I think he was 60 to 1 last week, and I'm seeing 80 to 1 for this week. And I don't know if you trust him in a putting contest, but Ryan Gerard.
Yeah, Gerard is there, but I think that's because it's a putting contest.
Fair, noted. So in the early segment of the 30 to 50 that you mentioned, like sort of like Scottie, I don't want to bet Fitz at an easy course because, I think the harder the course helps him. But maybe I'm willing to bet Alex Noren, Pat, but he hadn't played last week. Noren 50 to 1. It's horrible. Am I getting sucked in again? It's going to be a long year, isn't it?
Maybe. Like, do you prefer Noren at 50 or Berger at potentially 75?
Both.
Okay.
I mean, Berger, as I mentioned earlier, he's a guy at these numbers, and I have just a trust in him that I will probably be betting Berger at the last week's number, this week's number. I did it last year. We didn't win anything despite him playing great until he didn't. And I'm probably going to do it again, is just be riding Daniel Berger.
World number 10, Justin Rose at 66 to 1.
What's the best Berger number?
There's not a lot of places. I mean, I can probably check SharpStack. Oh, SharpStack, by the way, if you want to get in on it, 4for4.com/Mayo. And if you put in code Mayo NFL Playoffs, it's $10 for the month. But you can just use it to sort odds pretty quickly that way. And it'll give you like DFS tools for football, all the betting stuff for all the sports is all up there too, if you want to go check it out. If not, betspertsgolf.com/Mayo to go to the rabbit hole where I do all of my research for the research show. I can't find the best number on it right now. I only have coolbet.com open. So
75. And I would say, we'll probably be having these conversations a lot until we don't. To piggyback the earlier combos, I'm not really going to be looking at, unless I see a number that just looks great, the without Scottie market, I'll probably ignore at the MX.
It's always worth opening just to see if the numbers are similar. Like if you get 2 points difference between the non-Scottie and the Scottie, just bet the non-Scottie.
Yeah, of course. And then again, we do this a lot. So, I'm staring at the board for a couple of days. There'll be moments where you'll see a guy who you're thinking of betting, his number's crashing somewhere, and there's still a place that's got his without Scottie at the original number, which now matches the current number.
For sure. I mean, why wouldn't you at that point? It seems counterintuitive because usually those are such sucker markets, but as you've pointed out in the past, that they just don't update them as quick.
Yeah. And Ed, say no more. Jason Day do anything for you, Pat?
Not really. No, I think he's back-to-back T3 here, though.
66-1. I don't know. I could just trust him to make every putt and have me a Sunday ticket. So you betting like Bezadenhout then?
I'm not. That's not a me type guy here.
Me neither.
Although he does have a first place paycheck from this course, despite not winning.
Remind me.
Dunlap won, so he doesn't get any money. So all the money went to Bezadenhout.
Yeah, that's right. What do you think Bezadenhout, like, there's like tip culture, like if you win at the casino, like what are you supposed to tip out? Like what is Bezadenhout supposed to like buy Dunlop?
I don't know.
Where's like proper etiquette on that?
Well, the guy wasn't even he couldn't even drink when he won, so you can't even buy him some beers afterwards. Get him a nice watch.
Yeah, there's there's something there.
You said you want the 50 plus guys. If we start thinking about the guys in that range that you're talking about, I recall betting Rico Hoey here at 200-1 last year, and then he was the 36 hole leader with Charlie Hoffman, who I also bet on at 200-1, and they both fucking blew up. But Michael Kim's 80-1 again. Wyndham Clark is 80-1.
Yeah.
Nick Taylor, 80-1. Jacob Bridgman just made a run. We know he can putt. He's 100-1.
Willie Z, 80-1.
I don't know if I want to back Willie Z in the... It's funny. Will Zalatoris to win the American Express, 80-1. Will Zalatoris to win the Masters, 25-1.
I know. So you just but I don't know, you're going to swallow like a JT Poston bet instead?
For this week, yeah, I think I would rather bet Poston than bet Zalatoris. I don't know if I'm going to bet Poston, but I'd rather bet that type of guy this week. I really like Alex Smalley. He's 100-1. I will be betting Alex Smalley. If you read the newsletter post that I've put out, there's a lot on Alex Smalley in there.
Yeah, I had like a Smalley addiction for a bit. I haven't touched that in a while, but the Duke Blue Devil, I could see why you might be interested in that. It's not the course fit for your boy, but Cootie had a nice little weekend.
He did, but his odds suck now. What are you seeing him at?
Just an 80. So yeah, for him, that's not very high.
It feels like he should be still in that 120. If he was 100 last week against that Goober field, and now you add Scottie and real names, and he goes down by 40 points, that's probably not the optimal time to bet him.
And is Denny McCarthy that bad that his odds are going in reverse on a putting contest?
I mean, I didn't even really track what he did. Did he have a good week? Did he even make the cut last week?
I think he's even I think our boy Tour Picks, Joe Idoni's even dropped them. So, times are tough, but maybe, the wagons will circle the wagons this week. He's not for me. And pardon my ignorance. Is he that bad? Or there's no way Eric Colcane is taking a week off like this. Is he? Guy never weeks off.
Is he not playing?
I didn't see.
Yeah, he's in the field.
Is he north of 200?
Probably. Yeah, Eric Cole, 250-1.
See, I thought it'd be lower. Yeah, I'm seeing 300.
Well, when you don't ever win and you're not good, this is what happens.
I guess. Chris Kirk, 200 to 1, Pat?
Hey, I had the same thing circled. I bet Chris Kirk last week. He was 45 to 1. Keith got me onto him. He had a bad week. He missed the cut on the number. Like, that sucks. He played in shit. He got the shit conditions on Thursday and just couldn't get anything going on Friday. This has been a course where he's been really good over the years.
So, okay, I've now spotlight like just guys that I even saw getting hype last week. I think Nico on the golf tips checker was the most popular bet last week. I wasn't on it, but it was popular. I think it was 55 to 1. He's 250.
The right time, he played bad. Like, he was really bad. But like, how much do you shake off it being the first tournament? Like, do you care if someone had a bad week?
You almost have to be willing to accept that. And I know, like, listen, you're almost, this whole stupid game we play is like trying to convince yourself or give yourself reasons to bet or not bet a guy. If I wanted to bet on Nico this week, it'd be as simple as just, first start of the year, shaking things off. Let's go again. If I didn't bet Nico this week or last week, I might be more inclined just to step in now. He shook it off. Now I get 250. Eckroat last week everyone was betting Eckroat last week at 100. He's 250.
I bet Eckroat last week. He was my hit. I ended up with like 22% of my 75 lineup, 6 of 6 on DraftKings. If Eckroat just makes one of his 2 putts on 16 or 18 from 5 feet, all of a sudden I have like 75%. I had so much Austin Eckroat. It was outrageous. And why should I be surprised the guy who can't putt screwed me?
Billy Horschel, 225.
There's some big numbers out there. So
75 last week.
At a tournament where these type of guys win.
Yeah, I'm just not smart enough to like wheel of loser this thing properly. Although I've done it before here a few times. Just trust yourself. Trust yourself.
And maybe we'll, in retrospect, just laugh at me saying this right now. But that normal range that you talk about, that 60 to 85 range, doesn't have the names that super. No. Bhatia is the one that's like, oh yeah, of course Bhatia won.
Yeah, I think last year I got Straka here at like 60 or 65 to 1.
I think you had him at 80.
Okay, even better. Let's go. I guess part of it is the field strength is higher though, but a guy like SH Kim, I almost bet him last week at 200 to 1. He could not, like, how could he have actually played better than anyone's expectations? And now he's like 380 to 1.
Having Scottie here is really crushing these guys more than anyone, it seems, than rather at the very top of the board this week. Yeah, there's also there was 120 guys last week. There's 46 more people in the field, or 36 more people in the field as well.
Yeah, well, I don't know. We said a lot of words when maybe your first pick was maybe just Siwoo Kim this thing and go home.
Could be the play here. There is one guy we haven't talked about. He's the only guy I've actually bet on so far this week.
Oh,
I played Matt McCarty 125 to 1 with 8 places.
So I bet him or McGreevy last week.
You probably bet everyone. I bet him last week too. He double bogeyed number 9 on Friday, which was by far, I think it's the easiest hole on tour that he double bogeys. Then he bogeyed it again on Saturday, and that was just the end of him.
What did you say his number is this week?
125 to 1.
Yeah, it's. I'm going to. I think I'm going to have a lot of bodies, but not spend a lot of money.
That was a lot of like my card last week. Like the lowest guy I had was Aaron Rai. Aaron Rai thought he was playing the fucking U.S. Open for 3 rounds. Just like, I'm just going to make par on every hole, man. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, that's the problem with Aaron Rai. Is sometimes like you're just playing the U.S. Open.
And when he starts making, he didn't even putt that poorly last week. He couldn't drive the ball. He and like Berger was really weird. Maybe it was a strategy on his part, but his distance was way up and his accuracy was way down. And maybe he thought that this is the best way for me to play this in the wind. I don't know. But I thought that was just an interesting note to see.
Are you betting Michael Kim?
I was thinking about it, yeah. Seems like a good tournament for him.
It does. I don't know that I'll get 90 to 1 though.
Well, what about Grazerman? Grazerman hasn't played yet. No, you see, because Larry was going back and forth with me. Tom and Marty's, that Larry, who had like the viral tweet of the weekend, which was awesome. Shout out to him.
It was looking in trending. Birmingham is like Birmingham bar owner starts viral debate about the chicken wings. I think he's right, by the way.
I didn't even like it's just that they should be cheaper.
No, oh geez, okay, long story. I want to do it right. That, the chicken wings have gotten like so big.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah,
and they
minute, like I had
been like charging you like $20 for a dozen, and then it's just like so much meat, and it's just, I don't know, the ratio of like meat to skin to sauce, it just gets way out of whack. He said it was started by like, big chicken wing during COVID, and then all of the restaurants enjoyed the profits from it, that they haven't gone back to the like traditional size wings. I don't know. I agree with him. I think I like the place that has smaller wings, the place I like the most. So I think he's right.
I had smaller wings when we went out on Saturday night. I like any sort of like, especially in a bar. I think it's different if you're going to, not that you're going to a high-end place and ordering chicken wings, but as an appetizer, if someone comes out with wings, I also find that with the big wings, they put way too much sauce on it. Like they're too saucy. But with the small ones,
so saucy because by the time your first bite, you're just into this like, he's made the point, like sometimes they're making these chicken wings like they're fried chicken. No, they're not.
Like I want, if I'm pounding beer at a bar and I have chicken wings to go along with it, I want to be able to grab the wing and be like this and just be done with it.
100%. And now like it's so meaty that like the fat doesn't render properly. I am 100% on the side of Larry at Tom and Marty's. Unequivocally. Michael Kim though, this like back end card though could have Michael Kim.
Yeah, I mean, Brian Harmon, 125 to 1.
How
Tong, 125 to 1. Vince Whaley, like these type of guys. Yeah. If you just wanted to load up on like 8 guys from beyond 100 to 1, I feel like you'd have a sweat on Sunday with one of them.
I'd have, do it right now. We do Alex Smalley. We do, McCarty, McGreevy. I would do Novak.
I didn't even see Novak. Was he there?
150.
That's a big number. Yeah, he's the same number as Chairman Mao. Is this a revenge week for Chairman Mao after he made the 16 last year?
You
don't remember it was the one clip that went everywhere from this tournament last year was William Mao like hitting out of the death bunker 8 times and then chipping it back into the death bunker.
Was this up against the title games last year also?
I believe so, yes.
So yeah, this thing's ending. The Josh Allen getting the spot on the tush push versus the Chiefs. I don't know. I'm happy I hit Substract. I don't remember a second of it.
So for me, let's do some quick picks. Quick picks for the American Express. I'm going to bet Siwoo at 40. I've bet Matt McCarty at 125 to 1 with 8 places. I will probably bet Chris Kirk at 200 to 1 with 8 places as well. And then I have my ranges of guys of where I want to go. And we'll get more into this throughout the course of the week. I'm even doing a live show on Wednesday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern time now to just go over everything before the tournament starts. Tomorrow, DraftKings, me and Keith on Wednesday, it'll all be there. But Henley or Griffin near the top, maybe both, we'll see. Then into Siwoo, that will be a bet. Then it's that like Berger, Michael Kim in the 80s range. And then it's just going to be long shots. As I said already, McCarty and Kirk are the 2 that I like the most right now. I can be talked into almost anyone here this week. Oh, and Smalley, Alex Smalley at 100.
I'll be with you on that one. So the bet that I've made thus far, only one of them. I bet Daniel Berger just now 75 to 1. Alex Noren really tempts me. I could be really, we'll see. But the shortest, like at the start, the lowest you might see me go be like the 50s, and that's Siwoo Kim, and that's Noren. Didn't talk about Thor, but I'm not interested. Alex Smalley, 100. Andrew Novak, 125. Chris Kirk, 200. I agree. We talked through those ones. I'll be on that party, and one of them McDoubles. McGreevy, McCarty. Yeah, a lot of A lot of names, light bets. That tweet's going to be long, but the exposure is going to be light.
Yeah, I think that's one thing for people to keep in mind with a tournament like this. Like, you'll be like, oh, you just bet 20 guys. Like, well, you can bet 20 guys for the price of 1/10 of a Scottie Scheffelr bet.
And not even Scottie. But yeah, I might have like 8 or 9 guys. I normally have like 4 or 5 or 6. And you don't have... It doesn't take much critical thinking to understand how the money would work on something like that.
Yeah, but sometimes it gets picked up by, like, when people see it who don't bet on golf, they don't quite understand.
Yeah, I get it. That's fine. Whatever. Of course you're going to hit a winner. You bet 8 guys. You should watch how many times. I could bet 12 guys. You ever seen Cam Stewart's computer when you think you're looking at a leaderboard? You just think, oh, there's Cam's computer. Let me see the leaderboard. You think it's the leaderboard. No, it's just 40 favorites.
And none of them win.
Yeah, but you're like, oh, that leaderboard looks weird. Then you realize you aren't looking at a leaderboard. You're looking at his favorites tab.
I think it was Jim Saunas who tweeted out that for the first tournament of the year, when you reopen the PGA app and you see the guys who you had starred from the previous tournament, you're like, what in God's name was I thinking?
I always unstar. It is like an end of Sunday. I swear my brain will never let me know. Usually by the end of Sunday, I've unstarred because everything I sort of need, like in real time, I unstar. Like, is their rounds finish or there's only 4 guys on the course? I don't need to star anything anymore. But I know what you mean. Let's okay.
I would like to know from the people who the most pathetic name you've ever starred, and you open it up 3 weeks later. It's like, oh my God, what was happening? Like, what was my thought process on this? I don't have an answer to that. I'll have to rack my brain about what that answer is for me. Although Davis Riley was one of those people for me. I opened it up. I had a guy in T1. I was like, let's go. It's like, oh no, I didn't actually bet on that guy this week. It's going to be that guy that I mentioned earlier. The guy whose name I can't pronounce.
Yeah.
All right. I will talk to you later for football.
Yeah, we'll talk later for football.
Well, we got to do a one and done before we get out of here. Cust is taking Sam Burns. Thank you all, by the way, for we had 98.2% fill in the Mayo Cup. That's very good. Thank you so much. And I'm sorry for spamming all your inboxes all the time to get people to join, but hey, it worked. So I expect the same thing next year, unless you just join early enough, then I don't have to do it. But thank you for joining the race for the Mayo Cup. Cust has Sam Burns. Who do you want to take?
This could be a mistake. Just
Scottie
burning.
Scheffelr.
Siwoo Kim, but like you said, there's just always names and whatever.
Yeah, I think Siwoo was a good pick here. Yeah. That's who I was going to take, but now you've taken him.
Did I beat you last week?
You had Connors, I had Rye. Yes, you did beat.
No, I didn't have Connors.
No, you had Kitayama.
Kitayama.
We didn't even talk about Kitayama.
Same number as last week. I don't know. It was pretty fun. It's a pretty... Like, if you wanted to bet him this week, I'd say he was fine last week.
He was great off the tee. He was great on approach. He just didn't putt and didn't chip. That's kind of the Kitayama experience. Sometimes he does putt, though. I wouldn't hate him here. He's a pretty good. Now he might end up falling to that like 60 range of the guys that we were looking for, right?
Very much. Yeah, easily.
Shout out to Michael Brennan, who went from 20-1 to 200-1 in 1 week.
Them breaks.
Who am I gonna take? I'll take Ben Griffin. I'm not burning Ben Griffin at, I don't know, a signature event, so might as well use him here. So Griffin for me, Siwoo for you, Burns for Cust. If anyone would like to track our 3-man throughout the course of the year, let me know, because that would be quite helpful. NFL tonight, McDermott's fired. We talk conference championship games. It's going to be a whole lot of fun, so please tune into that. The article is already out on my Substack. That's free to use and free to join and read down in the comment section right now. Smash like and sub to the channel while you're here, and I will see you next time.
Mayo Experience! Experience!